Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 7th of September. The year is coming to its final quarter, and it's been an interesting year. Now, I say that because of not just because of all the things that has happened globally, the pandemic, the civil unrest, the rioting, the national issues that we're having, the global issues we're having, the new stuff that's popping up left and right, the comet, forest fires, just global changes in general that not everybody is fully aware of because not everybody pays all that attention to changes, whether they're local or global. Well, local is a little bit easier to discover. Global, not so much unless you're like me, like to try to see what's going around the world, not just in my backyard. Of course, my wife got me hooked on to watching TikTok, and there's some people out there who they're trying to make light of the situations that are happening. And what I mean by making light is they joke about it because of the factor it's hard not to. I wish I can tell you some of the TikTokers' names and whatnot because Joe's the one who shows them to me or sends them to me through my TikTok. I do not do anything on TikTok. I just watch other people. And the main reason why I don't do much on TikTok is I don't know how to make things short. I talk. If it takes me half an hour to an hour to get everything out, well, that's what happens. That, in fact, are most of the people who do TikToks are either they do their own thing or they mimic or use other people's other content or other media of one form or another to make their videos. I don't know how to describe it right now. I am just waking up, so forgive me. My brain is a little foggy. I'm also kind of in a semi-rush because today's plans being today's my day off, which this is the first Memorial Day that I've had off in years. Usually they put me on to work Memorial Days because of my abilities. I don't know what it is. I always thought to work on a holiday like Memorial Day or something like that was more of a punishment than a yeah, you're one of our best people, so we're gonna put you on a holiday because you're the best person around. I don't know. And no, that's not me basically saying, trying to pat myself on the back. It's more what I've been told in the past by my managers. Which is nice in some ways, but in other ways it's kind of like, are you sure about that? I'm not sure, but I'll take their word for it, especially if it's more than just one different manager. But I have one of my apps I have on my phone is it's a global earthquake monitor, and I'm used to seeing a lot of different like spikes in earthquakes along the Pacific Rim. Well, as of the last 2 weeks, I have noticed spikes at 6.4 roughly around the Atlantic and Indian Ocean fault lines. This particular fault line runs around the continent of Africa. And I'm like, those two plates don't have quakes like that. At least I have not noticed quakes like that in forever. And I've had this particular app since 2012. Yeah, 2012. Granted, I switched phones, but it's the same app because I downloaded the same app. But back of my brain goes, wait a minute, if that fault line that runs around Africa is on the move, yeah, because according to scientists, Africa is the only plate. The African plate is the only um, plate that has not had activity in a century or more. Now, there has been minor quakes in some of the deep Atlantic trenches, but nothing nothing above a 4. These are 6.4s. So it's kind of got my brain going, yeah. Should we be worried? Don't know. But that and a factor, the wildfires in California. There's now wildfires happening in Argentina. There's wildfires happening in Australia. And Australia is kind of funny because they had a wildfire, then they had flooding, then they have another wildfire, not flower. Yeah. Then I've had reports from people I know who live around the Yellowstone area finding massive amount, well, I shouldn't say massive, but a good high number of dead fish in some of the lakes and streams around the area. And I'm like, that's not good, because that means either there's seeping of sulfuric acids into the lake water and whatnot, which is what causes a lot of fish to die out. But there's also other explanations like inappropriate chemical dumping or other natural phenomenons or man-made phenomenon. But if you all remember, maybe you don't, but I do, but 2 years ago, the main lake that's in Yellowstone was shifting its position because the hillside or whatnot was bulging. Well, anybody who's ever studied volcanoes or plate tectonics or anything like that knows that's one of multiple signs of potential volcanic activity. I don't want to know about a volcano in Yellowstone National Park ready to blow, because if that particular volcano blows, yeah, that's a whole can of worms that I don't even want to think about. But there has been no real major evidence in the last year of any kind of activity going on, except for maybe one particular thing, which kind of like makes me go, because what happened is the sequence of events that I discovered is on the western side, on the western plate of Africa, they had a 6.4 earthquake. Then a geyser that has been dormant for 6 years erupts in Yellowstone. And then on the eastern side of the African plate, they had another 6.4. In fact, this morning they had another 6.4 in that same general area. And I'm just going, connect the dots, Jim, connect the dots. Where are they leading? I don't know yet. But that also leads to, I don't call my dreams premonitions, because sometimes my dreams are scattered throughout the cosmos. I've had dreams of Nordic type dreams. I've had dreams of just general life. I've had dreams where, in fact, the last couple of dreams I've had, in the dream, my father was still alive having conversations with me, Mom, Jerry. Or Jerry and my wife. Most of you know who she is. But it was kind of like bizarre. And it's kind of like, I might not remember all the details, but I remember the imagery, not all the words. So it's kind of like signs, possibly. I mean, I know the Bible says, not prophecy, because, well, there's a lot of prophecies in the Bible. What's the word? What's the word? Jim. Divination. Divination? No. I can't remember the words exactly, but the Bible talks of against it, and I'm kind of like, how is it against it, especially prophesying when the Bible is, especially Revelations, is full of prophecy. So it's kind of like one of those catch-22s, I guess, unless I'm thinking of the wrong thing, and I might be, because there's a lot of different, especially in the Old Testament. The New Testament, not so much. So it's kind of like one of those. This is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people have issues with the Bible, because sometimes the New Testament refers back to the Old Testament, or vice versa. No, it can't be vice versa. Yeah, because I know Revelations, especially Revelations, has a lot of like areas where it's like, go back to Daniel, especially if in a study Bible it tells you to go back to Daniel, or there's one or two other books that it tells you to go back to read a certain passage or something like that to connect the dots, I guess. But excuse me for being all over the place. I was going to do a Bible read this morning, but for some reason not my heart, more like my brain just couldn't wrap itself around, a Bible read. And I think that's probably because factor my mind is on other things for today. Like I said earlier, today is my day off. Our plans for today was to get up, make some French toast. We're going to basically take and make a lot of French toast, because what we do is we'll make like a bag of bread. We'll take a loaf of Amish country raisin cinnamon swirl bread and turn that whole loaf into French toast, and then we'll put the French toast that we don't eat for that morning into a Ziploc bag, and that loaf of French toast is now basically breakfast for several days to a week or more. Due to Jerry Ann's no carb, she's basically trying to do very little to no carb foods. So she's got a loaf of no carb, multi-seed or multi-grain bread that she's going to basically make into French toast for herself. Now, here's where things get a little iffy. Sometimes we don't mark the bag of French toast, so we don't know whose until we look at it. And a lot of times, first thing in the morning, I'm too tired to even concentrate. I just grab whatever looks like French toast. So I think this time around we're going to mark the bags just to make sure we know which one is raisin and which one is no carb. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a hiccup, or yeah, something like that. Then after that, we're going to set off to go to Springfield, Missouri, to go and get some. First, one, we're going to, if they're open. Mom's got to call them and see if they're open. We're going to call two different places at the mall, Battlefield Mall, Springfield, and see if the one restaurant is open so we can purchase some bourbon chicken. And then Mom wants to go to the popcorn shop for popcorn. And I want to go to the bookstore to look for certain kinds of books. See how much it's going to cost me compared to Amazon for cooking books. Yes, You heard that right. Cooking books. I'm looking for a cookbook for, well, I'm looking for 3 different types of cookbooks. One is cookbooks on, see if there's any more cookbooks with recipes from Norway, Norwegian or Scandinavian style cooking. Or look at books for diabetic cookbook. And then the third type of cookbook I would like to look at, because somebody suggested to me for my particular dietary plan, is Paleo for Beginners. Now, from what I understand from the paleo is, as you all might know, paleo as in prehistoric, or, yeah, prehistoric, is basically a lot of meats, non-root or very few root vegetables. I think carrots are acceptable, but potatoes and beets and basically anything that grows in the ground or underground, like potatoes and carrots and tuber type foods, are not part of a paleo diet. But leafy greens, apples, anything that grows on a tree, or like lettuce and whatnot. So I'm just a little curious because somebody suggested it. So I'm gonna look at that, and then I don't know if I'm gonna look for anything else. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on what piques my curiosity. I mean, you guys might have heard from a previous video. Jerry Ann got me she got me the Dragonlance Chronicle books, because this is what I used to read in high school. And I had them up until the flood. Up until Sandy, that, yeah. So she bought me the replacement books, but there was an extra one in there that must have been written or published after I stopped reading the first 3. And that's Dragons of Summer Flame. Now, I know a lot of you might be like, wait a minute, you read the Bible, yet you read fantasy novels such as Dragonlance that has magic and whatnot as part of the storyline. Isn't that bad? No. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is nothing in this world that is truly evil or bad until somebody makes it that way. Now, yes, I just said that, and yes, I will agree that witchcraft, Wicca, can be considered bad. No. Because if you've ever studied Wicca, which I did between 88 and 2000, no, 88 and 98. So for 10 years, no, I'll take that back. More like 6 to 7 years. I was going through a phase of discovery, and I did read books on Wicca. I learned as much as I could on Druidism. I learned as much as I could on shamanism. And a few other, well, the only thing I never got near, never touched, was anything that had to do with satanic crap. Which Wicca is not, unless you use it the wrong way. Everything I studied, Druidism, shamanism, Wicca, they're all about nature. They're all about the healing power of nature. So, until you go to use it for something other than that, that's when it becomes bad. But yes, I do read my Bible and I do believe in God. I was raised that way. Anyhow, I want to bring this to a draw because I hear my lovely wife getting ready to make French toast, and sometimes she needs my help. Which, that's fine. I'm all for helping out. We've actually been helping each other out a lot. she's enjoying as much as I am the Nordic diet. She's enjoying the foods, the recipes. In fact, there's one particular recipe that we made, wasn't last night. It was Saturday. Saturday night we made the recipe is called chicken salad. No, it's not what you think. Basically, it's grilled chicken breast for the meat, and for the side is basically you take a head of cabbage, or for two servings, a half of a cabbage, but we use a whole head because we were trying to make enough for three with leftovers. You basically slice it up as thin as possible, make it into like a almost not really coleslaw, but it's like sliced up cabbage, or nearly shredded cabbage. Swiss cheese. Then you make a dressing out of oil, honey mustard. No. Let me get this right. Oil, Dijon mustard, honey, salt and pepper to taste. I think there's another ingredient, but I can't remember what it was. And then you basically mix the liquids up, pour that over the cabbage and cheese, and you got your chicken, what they call chicken salad. But that's one of the reasons why I want to go to Springfield and go to the bookstore to see if I can find any more Nordic type foods, because we have tried about half of the different recipes in the book, the Nordic Way book, cookbooks that I have. So that's what I want to do. Anyhow, that in factor, Jerry-Ann has noticed in me especially a significant drop in my body weight. She has started showing, excuse me, my nose itches. She has started to show a healthy drop in weight. So the next thing that I need to get started, because I keep on not really putting it off, but I keep on forgetting about it because of other things. It's, life. You forget about certain things, but it's still in the back of my brain going, hey, you said you were going to do this. I need to start the actual physical part of this plan, which is I have been taking walks, not as many or as often as I want, just like there's been a significant time difference between videos because of life. I need to try to find a way to set a time period before I go to bed to do videos, because it's affecting the amount of money I'm making. Yeah. So I've got the Wii set up. I just got to connect the Wii board, which is what you use for different physical activities. This Wii board was originally designed to go with Wii Fit, which I have one version of Wii Fit, the newer version. I like to try to go and buy the older version, the original Wii Fit, not the Wii Fit U. But this platform is supposed to be like a sensor to detect your steps or your movement on this board, so it can interact with the program. People want to call it a game, but I think it's more of a program, because, yeah, I guess you can turn physical fitness into a game. But anyhow, I've got to do these things. Anyhow, rambling too long, too much. Sorry. Sorry if there's any confusion. Sorry if I'm literally all over the place. That's just the way my brain is this morning. I think videos at nighttime would be a little bit better, because then I can be more focused. That, in fact, I think if I do videos at nighttime, it's going to be more events of the day plus biblical aspects. Anyhow, there was one last thing before I leave. I'm sorry. One last thing. There was a viewer that suggested or said that she wouldn't mind hearing my take or my view or whatever on Revelations compared to today's events. I'm planning that. That's in the planning stages. I just got to learn or figure out a way to execute that. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm sorry if it's all over the place. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the question comment box. If you're a new viewer, which if you got through this video and decided to stick with me, thank you. And congratulations at the same time, because my brain is a mixed bag of insanity. That's the only way I can describe it. But anyhow, if you decide to subscribe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then the bell will click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in another crazy video. Until next time, bye.